So I'd like to know what your thoughts are on the current game's meta when it comes to the gear, lesser used gear, you know, R&K 511 and things like that. And also, I was going to put a little bit of a drop in there that the true Patriot rework, is this really ever going to happen? It's something people have been excited for so long. It's such a fan favorite set. So if I didn't ask, I'd probably get in trouble.
It will happen. It will happen. We just need the time to get down to it. But there are some ideas, and yeah, we have people excited in the team as well to actually get to revisit it. But honestly, I think like
That interview with Yannick was around a year ago when I was very, very lucky to sit down with him and ask him some questions. And yes, I asked the question about a true Patriot. And that day is finally here. We got ourselves a true Patriot rework, and here I am playing with it on the PTS. And if we take a very quick look at the patch notes, you can see that we've got 15% weapon handling now as the 2-piece bonus. That replaces the 30% ammo capacity. Definitely no sweat there. I kind of like that. We've got a buff on the 4-piece talent red, white, and blue. Every 2 seconds, enemies you shoot receive a stacking debuff of red, white, and blue. Red amplifies the damage taken by 15%, which is lovely. White, shooting the enemy repairs attacking agent's armor by 2% once every second. And then blue decreases the enemy's damage dealt by 10%, and that was previously 8%. But that's not the best of it. If we scroll down here, the rest of the talent does remain the same. So all 3 debuffs create a 5-meter explosion, dealing damage equal to the total health and armor. So that's cool. But if we go down here, the red, white, and blue rotation changes to 1 second. Now, that half a second being shaved off there, I mean, I'd take that to 0.5. Like, if you're going to wear that chest, it needs to be better than this. It's got to be really quick, but that's just my personal choice on that. I'd rather take a damaged chest any day over this, or if you're in a CC or a buff build or anything like that, you're probably not going to take this over some of the other options that you have. But for the backpack talent, this is where things get really, really juicy. You can see here we've got increased red, white, and blue debuff from red up to 30%, which is crazy. White up to 5% and blue up to 20%, but 30% for red. Really, really, really nice. So that's a lot of extra damage, and I've built a build here just to see how it holds up playing with it solo. But I already know that if you've got somebody doing this in your party, it's going to give you a lot of extra damage, let alone if you've also got somebody running ongoing directive, which has also received a buff, but that's not for this video. So I'll flick over, and unfortunately I didn't have an all red backpack. I've done something with this one, I don't know why, but you can see the reflectiveness here shows up in the game as well. Slap my Lexington on, slap my equalizer on, got some overdogs on as well. So you can see here the stats are 58% crit chance, 117% critical hit damage, and we're just going to take it for a ride and see how it gets on. As you can see there next to the agent, you have no control over the red, white, and blue. It just constantly rotates even when you can't see it. I would absolutely have loved it if it constantly shows up as red as the first hit. That would be a game changer. As you can see there, I hit with the blue right at the beginning. We got ourselves a little bit of an explosion. But as you can see, the damage is a little bit lackluster for a solo player. Which isn't to say that the set is bad, because I don't believe that the set is bad. It's a very welcome set of buffs. But I really don't want to give up my chest talent for that 1 second draw time. And as you can see, I'm probably not going to hit that red, white, and blue very often, even playing solo. So it's not quite where I would want it to be for a solo player. Is it great for a buff build or to have one just in your team all red anyway? Absolutely. This is going to help out team compositions really, really well. The backpack buff is just absolutely fantastic, and it's going to be there for really for harder content. And that's the problem that True Patriots always had. That we became that powerful, essentially we outgrew it. The flag didn't have time to rotate. And although it's had some really good buffs, it still suffers from that mentality a little bit, that we are that powerful in lower end content that it's probably not going to shine too much until we get to that higher plane of content, or maybe somebody uses it in escalation, legendary, or a master mission. And if you're doing that, this probably isn't going to do too well solo in a legendary, because quite frankly we've not got the ability to build survivability in this because we've already not quite got the damage. So it does cement it to me as the ultimate kind of buff build. Is ongoing directive just going to outshine it? Maybe. Ongoing directive buffs are really, really good. But if I just kind of hide here now, if I don't use my Lexington, what if I use my gear shift? So no problem on a mini tank, as you would absolutely expect. The red bars we still take down faster than the buff itself. The yellow bars are where it's at. But damage wise, it's still a little bit lackluster. What is good though is that they don't lose the buff. As you can see, he's still got it. We got him then. Well, maybe he does lose the buff. Was that the guy? I didn't think there was a timer on the buff. Maybe we can test that on one of these guys before we finish the video. So he's got the blue buff. It doesn't look like he's going to lose it. There's no countdown on it or anything like that. Explosion there was nice. Yeah, so it doesn't look like you actually lose the buff at all. But I feel like it... I mean, it's just not quite hitting the mark I want it to. It still suffers from that little bit of a problem that it's always had in that stuff. Just dies too quick. Maybe it needs to be on rotation. Maybe like the enemy switches the flag. So I hit one enemy, it gets red. I hit another enemy, it gets blue. I hit another enemy, it gets white, and it rotates back round. You can still put full flag on then. You know, I'm however doing some decent healing with it. You can imagine with a Caduceus, you're probably doing some good squad healing at the same time. So I think, you know, for solo play, I'm probably underrating it a little bit. I think it's not quite as good as what it could be. I think for group play, there's probably going to be some pretty interesting combos with this. As you can see here, not ideal. I can take this section down normally without needing any more ammo. But we'll finish with the red, white, and blue there. Oh. And you too. Thank you very much. We'll finish with the red, white, and blue there at the end. So yeah, although they are very welcome buffs, I'm just not quite as excited for them as I would really want to be. I just don't quite think it's got enough juice for a solo build. And there was a bit of a note with this as well that, you know, it does maybe work outside of your subgroup. And I still don't think that that necessarily would be too much of a problem. I don't think that it feels like it is that powerful. But maybe when it's stacked up with other things, maybe it could be. But for me, this could stay exactly how it is. If anything, it could get a bit of a solo buff. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, agents, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.